Hello there and welcome. In this video, we are going to talk about scheduling in Kubernetes. So, in brief, scheduling is nothing less than the art of ensuring that a pod, a deployment, or a set of replicas are running on the nodes that we desire them to run on. And the first demo is going to be our Nginx deployment. So I'm going to create a scheduling folder and let's call this first.yaml. And basically here I am requesting 8 CPU cores for this deployment. Let's see what happens. kubectl apply -f first. Now if we inspect our namespace, we can see that the scheduling is pending. Let's see why it is pending. As we can see from the cluster events, there is basically a node with untolerated taint, which is the control plane, that is our master, and we have 3 nodes where we have insufficient CPU. So insufficient CPU means that if I inspect the nodes -o wide and I check, for example, the case worker A with the kubectl describe, I can see that it has 4 CPU cores. So basically the problem is that none of the nodes have 8 CPUs. Let's say that I decrease it to 4. Now we can check the deployment, and as you can see, it started the creation and now it is running. So basically this was the problem. And all in all, we can specify a given number of CPUs, memory, and so on. And we have to make sure that it is available in our infrastructure. Let's delete the deployment. And the next one, what we want to check is basically how we can use affinity. That is going to be the second.yaml. With affinity, we have many options as to what we can configure. But in this demo, we have 2 deployments. The first deployment doesn't have any kind of requests or affinity configured. But in the second deployment, we have specified the pod affinity. And basically, this required during scheduling, ignored during execution, means that when we schedule this, not we, the scheduler schedules these pods, it is going to ensure that this condition is met. And this condition says that we want the scheduling of the pods of this deployment to go to the same location where the other application called Nginx deployment is scheduled. So now if I go ahead and apply the second and use the kubectl get all, I can see that both of them are running, and we can verify with the get pods -o wide that indeed they are scheduled onto the same node. And when we scale the deployment, this is also considered, this scheduling and the restriction. So scale, deployment, and Nginx affinity, and the replicas is going to be 4. Now if we get the pods, we can see that the additional 3 pods were also scheduled on the same node. And then if we scale the Nginx deployment, here we can also see that these were as well put on the same node. Good. Now what we can do is the following. Let's remove the second demo. And we want to create the third demo. And here we are going to third.yaml. We are going to have this deployment, and we will say that we want 3 replicas. And deploy the third deployment, and kubectl get pods -o wide. You can see that the scheduler tried to spread the pods across all the nodes that we have. So in order to prevent any kind of scheduling on a given node, then we can use taints. So taints are not going to move pods away from the tainted nodes, but they will prevent further deployment. For example, if I remove the third.yaml and specify that I want to taint node Kate's worker A, and the key is equal my taint no schedule, then inspecting the node Kate's worker A, if I scroll up, I am going to see that it has a taint, and this taint is no schedule. So now, if I try to deploy my third manifest and get the pods -o wide, I can see that the Kate's worker A node was skipped from this scheduling. And we still have the 3 pods. So now what I would also like to do is to delete the third one and remove, not remove, but actually I want to apply a toleration. So in the third.yaml, we can say that we want to tolerate a taint, and this taint is going to be no schedule. And basically, if we deploy this manifest, tolerations, oh, that's for the containers. Good. And apply. Now we can use the get pods -o wide, and basically this no schedule taint was tolerated by our deployment. You could also say that we just simply ignored this request from the node not to schedule there anything. If we want to remove a taint from our worker, we just put a dash at the end, and it will show that it was untainted. So now another thing is basically the cordoning that I wanted to show you. So let's create a deployment called nginx from the image nginx, and the replicas is going to be 3. Create deployment nginx, and -- replicas is 3. Good. So now we have the pods spread across our worker nodes, and if we want, we can cordon a node, and cordoning a node will prevent any further deployments to that node. So kubectl cordon Kate's worker A, Kate's worker A. This will not affect the already running pods on that node, but if I create another deployment and say deployment nginx after cordon, then I can see on the dash o wide that this after cordon was only deployed to the worker B and the worker C nodes. And if I want to move away any deployments from a given node, then I can use the kubectl drain Kate's worker A and ignore daemon sets. Technically, what happens now is that the kube scheduler is going to evict pods from the node. And after that, we will see that none of the pods are running on Kate's worker A. And if I want, I can uncordon the worker. So uncordon. And after uncordoning, the new deployments are going to be considered for this node. So technically that was all I wanted to show you. See you in the next one.